Welcome back to my channel. This is Andy in Singapore. If you haven't done so, I'd like to remind you to click the like and subscribe buttons because I've got new videos uploaded every week just for you. In today's video, we are going to do a full review of the Maen Manhattan 37, and I bought this watch just before the new year. So I've been spending some time with this watch, and this is a new release from the Swedish micro brand, and this particular model here, the Manhattan 37, is a Swiss-made model, features a Swiss movement of course, and this watch is not exactly a new or original design. It is actually a homage of the VC2215. To be honest, I don't even know the existence of the VC2215. I guess it is one of those under the radar kind of models that went out of production very quickly. So many people, upon looking at this integrated links bracelet design, I think they would definitely link it to a PP Nautilus or AP RO. So for those of you who are thinking that this is one of those PP wannabe or homage due to this bracelet design here, you're wrong, but this is actually still a homage. But it is a homage of a less popular model, and I think many people will not actually see the link between this one and the actual watch. So at the time of the launch and pre-order, I think this one here came in around 550 euros. It represents a very good value. Current price for the production batches, I think they're coming in at about 640 euros. And I still think that this watch at this price point, it's the PRX automatic for breakfast, lunch, dinner, supper, and leftover. Because in terms of design, in terms of movement, in terms of execution and all that, I really think that this watch here represents very good value, and it is a good watch for any price point, right? Not because it is under 1,000 Singapore dollars. Even if this watch is positioned about 3 times the selling price, I think it will still be a very good value for money purchase for me. With the lens zoom in here just a little bit, let me share with you the key specifications of this model. It's got a 37mm case size, as the model name implies. Total thickness here is about 10.1mm. That's measuring from the base of the case back here, which is a plain brush finish case back, to the top of the flat sapphire crystal, which sits just a little bit proud of the bezel. This being an integrated bracelet design, so I'm not going to talk so much about the lug width because there's no lug width to talk about. Instead, I'm going to share with you the L to L measurement here. So from the actual watch case, the end of the watch case to the end of the watch case here, it comes in at around 48mm. But if you count in the protruding link here, the first link here is slightly protruding, so the total measurement here is about 50mm. And being a smaller size watch, this one here is also very light. I've had the bracelet resized to my wrist, removing 5 links, and it comes in now at 113 grams. I think this is very lightweight for a full bracelet model. Of course, the bracelet here is also very thin, and I really welcome this overall thinner profile of the watch. Powering the Manhattan 37 is the Ronda R150 movement. So it is more or less a clone of the 2824 or SW200. This is a 28.8 thousand beats movement, and it is hackable and windable. And in terms of winding here, alright, the watch feels a little bit gritty. I'm not too sure if this is an inherent problem with the R150, but as for seconds hand movement, I think it's still rather smooth, the sweep here. In terms of accuracy, this one here comes in at around 8 to 10 seconds a day. I think that's very reasonable for a Swiss-made movement. Let's move on now and talk about the build quality of this watch. I definitely think that in terms of build quality, this is comparable with big Swiss brands, about 3,000 Singapore dollars. If you look at the Longines, the Tag Heuer, the Maurice Lacroix, I think you will not see a big difference, or in fact no difference when it comes to the build quality. Alright, so everything here is very nicely finished. I love the mostly brush finishing on this watch, from the top of the bracelet to this bezel here, which has a really beautiful vertical brushing. You know, this is the kind of look that I want for my watch. Alright, even the case sides here are nicely brushed, and we've got bits of polished surfaces here on the bevels of the bezel. Alright, so over here you will see this bevel in here, and also on the sides of the bracelet here, the watch is nicely polished. Just check out this flat links bracelet. Okay, so it's rather thin, coming in at under 3 millimeters thickness, and it is fully articulating. So despite being a fully brush finish at the top here, you can see the amount of light play we are getting. Alright, and I think this is wonderful. It tapers to around 17 millimeters here nearer to the clasp, which is a butterfly clasp. Alright, so during the initial unboxing video, I think I had some comments coming in talking about this butterfly clasp here, which offers no micro adjust or half links adjustment. But in reality, this one here, the links are so slim and small. I don't think there is a need for micro adjust or half links, because over here, by removing 5 links for my not so big wrist, I'm able to get a very good fit. And of course, we do have a really nice logo here signed to the clasp here, done in sort of a satin brush finish as well. And the casing and bezel here with this octagonal shape here, again with the rounded edges here, I think it looks fantastic. Sort of a left field kind of design. Okay, so most watches, like I said, especially for micro brands, you know, we are looking at divers, and these days we're getting more of those explorer, Garda type of watch, and this one is a very bold move by Maen, because target audience for this one here would be much smaller as compared to diver watch fans. So I really applaud them for so daring in coming up with such a design. And we do have a very nice sign crown here with M logo, again done in sort of a satin or bead blasted kind of finishing. Alright, so of course it doesn't offer any knurling or grip, but this octagonal shape here itself is very good for grip and time setting and winding purposes. And now let's move on and talk about the dial design. First, I gotta tell you, this vertically striped dial here is just stunning. We've got Côte de Genève striping here, and the striping over here sort of makes the watch appear different in various angles and various light conditions. And as I turn the watch this way, you will see that it sort of comes alive and it turns into some sort of electric blue here, not quite sunburst, and I just love this look here. Alright, so I know this is not like hand finished dial and all that, but you'll be amazed at what CNC machining can do these days. Okay, so the amount of attention to detail here is just amazing. Just take a look at the striping and how it reflects the light and changes color here. We've also got a very special type of handset here. I think this is Maen's own design. So I've seen this design on many of their models, their divers, the Hudson Mark IV and all that. So they've got the hands that sort of extends and becomes narrow as it approaches the minute markers. And to add on to the touch of class and quality, we've also got applied markers here which are Lume. Alright, so let's check out the Lume shot of this watch. Now that the lights are off, let's just check out the Lume here on the Manhattan 37. I must say I am pleasantly surprised. I didn't expect something so bright of such quality. This one here should be a C3 formula, and I dare say this is even brighter than many of the Swiss watches I have. I think this is even better Lume than my Zin. Here's a look at the wrist shot of the watch in a more natural light setting. Here you can see how well this watch wears. The Maen 37 wears very well. I think this is due to the overall very thin profile and very small dimensions. And I also like to bring your attention to this bracelet here. It is very thin, very slim looking bracelet, and it tapers all the way down to about 16 or 17 millimeters nearer to the clasp. And I think this one here really adds to the wearability of this watch. Overall, fits so well, no lug gaps whatsoever. Just a winner in my opinion. And now let's have a quick size comparison between the Maen Manhattan 37 and my own Zin 556. So I don't really have a similar watch to this styling here. The Zin here is the closest I can get. And you know, these two watches, they are rather similar in terms of fit and size, despite being quite different in terms of specs on paper. So 38.5 for a round shaped watch actually looks similar to a 36-37 millimeters square or rectangular case size. These watches, they are very wearable and they are good daily wearers. So in summary, I would say the Maen Manhattan 37 is a great purchase for under 1,000 Singapore dollars because you're really getting a good quality build, and of course this watch is Swiss made, and I think there are many micro brands out there that are not even using Swiss movements, or the watch is not Swiss made, and yet they're charging around the same price points for their watches. So you know, there is really no comparison when we're talking about value for money when it comes to the Maen Manhattan. This watch here is really well executed, wears very well, looks fantastic, and I like to repeat, alright, this one here on your wrist, it feels more like a 3,000 Singapore dollars watch as opposed to one that is just under $1,000. So there you have it. That was my full review of the Maen Manhattan 37. So if you're still on the fence, you don't know if you like the brand, you don't know if you like this overall design, I would say don't sleep on it, alright? This is a great watch. Don't sleep on this one because they might just increase the price or they may discontinue the model altogether. So grab it while you can. This is Andy in Singapore. I'll see you soon for more watch reviews together with George and Pixie. Bye bye.